I'm going to do something I've not done before. This video is going to be for atheists specifically. It is a place where atheists can post comments and discuss the subject of this video. The subject of the video is the supposed evolution of human skin. Any comments made regarding any subject other than this subject will be deleted. You're free to make any comment you like, so long as you're not griping about God and you're actually discussing this subject. You can discuss this all you like. I won't block any comments that pertain to the subject and are not complaints about God or attempts to drag the subject off into another subject. Human skin is very fragile, easily abrased, easily cut, scratched. The human skin is amongst the most fragile kinds of skin in the animal kingdom. It is not by any means water resistant. If a human being spends much time in water at all, much at all, you could spend 30 minutes in a bathtub soaking your sore back and get out, and your skin looks like a prune because of osmosis. See, sucking the water out of your skin. So our skin is definitely not water resistant, and is far from waterproof, and it's exceedingly fragile. It's so easy for a human skin to be abrased or cut or scratched, and it's so easily damaged. Now, the skin of apes, for example, however, is exceedingly tough. In fact, the skin of most animals is really, really tough in comparison to human skin, and far less susceptible to osmosis in water. In other words, it's much more water resistant, almost waterproof, some skins of some creatures, such as apes. Ape skin is nearly waterproof, and it is very tough, very hard to braise or cut or scratch an ape's skin in comparison to a human being. Their skin is very tough. It's leathery, stretchy, not easily abrased. The difference between human skin and the skin of most creatures, particularly those of apes, is extreme. Extreme. A human being, because of their skin, partly, is able to live in a range of temperatures that is very narrow, without clothing, without adding clothing or being in a shelter of some kind. We would perish on this earth if we had no clothing. Humans just couldn't survive the current range of temperatures on this planet. Apes, however, survive a very broad range of temperature. They live, in snow environments without clothes. They walk around in snow without clothes. They do all kinds of things without clothes. And in some apes, their hair is really pretty sparse. They don't have a thick covering of hair. In chimpanzees, for example, have virtually no hair on their behinds, so they're not protected on their butt by hair. So the question is, if evolution were true, how is it possible that natural selection would cause humans to have such fragile, water-susceptible, easily damaged, and skin which is capable of survival in such a very narrow range of temperatures? When, if we had come from creatures which had much more durable, nearly waterproof skin, which is very tough and hard to cut, scratch, or abrase. Where's the reasoning behind it? How could evolution make us weak and unfit to survive in this world without clothing or shelter, if we came from creatures that are far more capable of it and do survive without clothing or shelter in even a wide variety of environments, including wet ones and very cold ones? See, it doesn't make any sense, does it? Kind of throws evolutionism into the toilet, doesn't it? the idea that man evolved from an ape-like creature. See, humans are very fragile creatures. Apes are very durable and tough. Everything about the evolution theory is really cockamamie, isn't it? So how could human skin evolve if we're somehow to survive the environment, the same environment which apes live in? How could we have evolved such fragile, easily damaged skin that's incapable, that's water-soluble, very water-soluble, and very difficult, and cannot survive but in a very narrow range of temperatures without protection? Whereas apes live in the same environment that we do, the surface of this earth, in the same places around the earth that man lives. Snowy, cold environments, mountainous regions, deserts, everywhere. Apes are all over this planet. Jungles, the extreme environments. And yet they need no clothing. And they can swim in the water all day long without looking like a prune. Tell me the reasoning behind this, the rationale. Why, if natural selection were a mechanism to cause evolutionary change, which it is not, because it's a selection process only, how could the humans evolve to be such weaklings, our skin to be so fragile and weak and unsustainable on this planet without covering? Of course, I can give you the answer. The Garden of Eden was perfect, and man did not require clothing. If a human being were to step outside in the woods behind their house, for example, and let's say the temperature was in the 50s, the lower 50s, and they were just wearing a t-shirt and a pair of jeans and a pair of socks and tennis shoes. If they sat out there all night long with the temperatures in the lower 50s or even in the 40s, there's a very good chance they would die of hypothermia just from spending 8 or 12 hours in temperatures in the 50s without additional clothing. Apes live in this kind of temperature and thrive. It feels great to them. They're not bothered by it. In fact, apes can withstand temperatures considerably lower than that. Not a human being. If a human being wearing no more clothing than I just described were to sit outside against a tree and try to sleep overnight in a temperature of 35 degrees, they would not make it to the morning. They'd be dead. If someone found them the next day, they'd be, rigor mortis would have set in hours ago, they'd be dead and stiff. Not an ape, though. Something else that will be argued by atheists, I know, is that we lost our hair, so that's why we can't survive in the modern and some of the extreme environments that apes can. Well, that's ridiculous, because loss is not improvement. Losing something is not gaining something. That's not evolution. Evolution. Atheists claim evolution has no direction. It's neither up or down, left or right. Right? Well, if that were true, why would we lose a feature that would protect us in the same environment that we live in and give us the inability to survive on this planet without clothing or shelter? Whereas apes, many species of apes require neither. You see, it contradicts the evolution theory. Now, one of the arguments I know that some atheists are going to put forth is, well, human beings developed a bigger brain, so we're smarter, and that gave us the ability to develop clothing and stuff. But that doesn't wash, because then that would be claiming that evolution is conscious and sentient and can plan ahead. See, so that doesn't work. And also, evolutionists claim that humans evolved over a period of only a couple of 100,000 years, whereas all these other animals, including apes, have far more durable, water-resistant, nearly waterproof skin and can live in much colder environments without clothing or shelter for all these supposed millions of years. See, just doesn't make sense. So, scratch your heads, see what you can come up with.